Bitcoin has bounced from our bounce region that we've been talking about on this channel for the past couple of weeks. It actually tapped it almost exactly, off by a couple of dollars there. As you guys can see, we tapped about 11929 just off the box there. So we got a really nice bounce off that box. Now the question is, do we actually head higher or do we fall lower? I've added a new box down here and I'll explain why in a minute. But right now, what I'm looking for Bitcoin from a price action perspective is I actually want to see us break back into this box and head towards the upside to show us that structure has shifted. And we're going to have some important price targets here, because the first thing I want to see to determine if we're bullish or not is break through this 116,000 area and get back into this box. And then the second thing I want to see is breach 118,000 and take us above this downtrend that we've got set since the 18th of July. So we have some work to do on Bitcoin, but it's fine because the longer we range here, the alts tend to run comfortably. So as soon as we get some volatility, alts tend to take a little hit and Bitcoin steals the show. So I'm not too fussed with Bitcoin trading sideways at these levels because I am still mega bullish, even though some people are calling for a bear case coming with Bitcoin. I just don't see it right now, especially holding above the last all-time high that we've set here at $110,000. So with Bitcoin, it's pretty simple. I want to see us break above 118,000 to get really excited. Otherwise, we're possibly going to range here until we do that. And if we do manage to break down, I'm looking at 107 to 109 for the next bounce zone. Now I'm going to segue into why I think it's possible for us to come down here. And it's simply because of Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has a bigger correction to make if we do correct. And the only way I see that happening is if Bitcoin corrects heavier. So the reason why I think Bitcoin is going to correct is because of Ethereum. It's showing me that if we do want to come down here, we're going to have to see a deeper Bitcoin correction. Now this changes as well on Ethereum. We have the bull and bear case, and I've talked about the bull case on Bitcoin, which is passing 118,000. Now the bull case for Ethereum is going to be passing this $4,000 mark. Otherwise, we have all this space down here to come fill for the market makers to efficiently make use of this space. So what we're looking for here is a decisive break above 4,000 and target 4,800, or we're simply going to go ahead and tap that, come back down to about 3K on Ethereum. And that's what I'm looking for on Ethereum. Like I said, I'm very bullish on sideways action because alts have been going crazy. If you guys haven't kept track, I've covered them on my videos. Just watch some of the videos in the past week or two and you'll see what alts I'm talking about. I also have a Telegram group where I share my plays. It's very casual. I just share my thoughts and what I'm looking at. So if you guys want to join that, go ahead. But with Ethereum, it's also pretty simple, cut and dry. Above 4K, we've got the bull to 5K, or otherwise I'm looking for a retrace down to 3,000 along with Bitcoin. Now, we've also got some other plays that are holding up really well, like Litecoin. And I mentioned the bullish divergence that I'm picking up on the Litecoin Bitcoin chart. And even though Bitcoin has had a bit of a pullback, Litecoin actually pushed up against Bitcoin. So Litecoin has been outperforming Bitcoin. And if you guys don't know, Litecoin is one of my main plays this cycle simply because of the chart. And as you guys can see right now, Litecoin has definitely outperformed Bitcoin. It currently sits at 120 and almost tackling that all-time high set last year at $140, which is $20 away. And once we take out this high, I would assume that the next target we're going to go ahead and face is about $200 to $300 right there. So I think it comes fast. You can see when Litecoin wants to move, it is very, very explosive. It moves extremely fast. So this has been an accumulation base for the past, I don't know, give it 7 years. If you take a look at this, accumulating for 2,742 days, and the longer the accumulation phase, the bigger the pump. So you can imagine how high this is going to take us. I've got this move taking us above $1,000 on Litecoin. If we simply use the Fibonacci's, it shows us heading to the 4.236 of $2,000 on Litecoin, and the first target being obviously that psychological $1,000 level. When does that come? I would say towards the end of the year. We've also got the ETF coming out in October. So something to look out for and to explain why this is outperforming. We've also got real life companies buying Litecoin on their balance sheets. So something to keep in mind for narrative. Now, other than that, what's got me really, really excited these days is actually AI. The more I dig into AI, the more I find the potential and the undervalued prices that we currently have under our noses. And I'm not going to talk about specific plays. I'm going to talk about AI as a whole because it is currently valued at $42 billion. This is like finding DeFi in the summer of 2020 before it took off. So what I think is going to happen here is that we've got agentic and infrastructure plays. There aren't that many plays currently out there. There's a few agents like AIXBT, we've got Tipper, we've got Mamo now, and it's all happening on base. All this action is happening on base, and it's worth digging into and looking into it to find those undervalued AIs that are going to give you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x gains along with Tau. Tau is going to have a lot to do with this. Tau is going to be the main indicator of AI's health. And right now, because Tau isn't running, the interest in AI isn't that high. But once AI gets going, and it's been ranging since April 2024, it hasn't been that long, but it has been holding its value and trading in a range, setting up that base to move higher in the $1,000 ranges soon. I think once we see this happen, we're going to see AI infrastructure and agents take off in a crazy, crazy way. And I think a lot of people are overlooking that. So I'm extremely excited about the potential and the plays that haven't even released that will give us those gains. So if you're interested in that and want to keep up with that, join my Telegram group. It's very casual. If you guys are interested in that, join the Telegram group. I'm not going to be advertising it that heavily. Moving on to memes, you can see we have tapped the upper range of that red box that I had outlined here. I still think we go a little bit lower on the meme section simply because that Bitcoin correction hasn't come yet. And I do think it takes us down to about 56 to 55 billion. However, if we begin to break out of this downtrend and start reversing here, then obviously my stance would change. But as of right now, still nothing huge to pay attention to here, still on a downtrend. But I am keeping my eyes open because we did tap that upper range and that might satisfy the correction requirements over here on the meme chart. And the AI is kind of the same way, they move together. One of them isn't going to run without the other like we've been seeing in the past. And until that changes, I have no reason to think they're going to run without each other. And if we take a look at the DeFi chart, it is one of the strongest one compared to the three sectors I'm taking a look at, which is AI, memes, and DeFi. And total DeFi over here, as you guys can see, still needs to correct down to that level. So I think in late August, we're going to see that correction come in. So we probably have another week or a week and a half before that correction comes in. So make sure you have some cash on the side to buy the dip because I think it is going to be a value dip that we should be paying attention to. So far, we've read the market pretty well. We were calling for this correction towards the downside on Bitcoin, $111,000, and we got it. Ethereum still yet to hit that target, but this could be more bullish than I expect. However, I'm still holding out for $3,000 Ethereum and a bunch of DeFi coins to correct as well. Tau is something I'm paying attention to because I think it is going to be the leader in the AI sector. I'm not going to be betting on Tau because I do like to go on the lower market cap side, but it is going to be a great indicator as to where the AI sector is heading. And I am targeting this $500 to $600 region from where I'm at currently. You guys can see where this box is at. This is a value buy area. So I am loading up on some AI plays already. Now moving to the Bitcoin dominance, you guys can see we have still not broken this trend. We're actually holding a base right here and potentially looking for that retest to the upside, especially if the bearish case does come in for Bitcoin. Because if the bearish case does come in, people will sell off their alts and move into Bitcoin most likely, and that'll increase the dominance on Bitcoin. However, if we manage to hold at this 64% level and then break down, that might be the nail in the coffin for Bitcoin dominance. So yet to be seen there, but I do think this has a higher probability than Bitcoin simply continuing to the upside. I would love to see this just roll over and hit the downside. Not sure if we will just yet. Think we might need that one more pullback and then we can get the dump we're looking for. If we take a look at USDT dominance, which goes hand in hand with Bitcoin dominance, this looks like it may want to move up just a little bit more before we keep correcting to the downside. If you look at the downtrend that we've got here, the smaller one, not the bigger one, we potentially have a move to about 4.65%. So another case for a bearish Bitcoin as people move into stable coins and panic during that dump. So I do think we have one more dump coming on the market, which is going to present an opportunity for those of us ready, but it's definitely not going to be a panic or something to be afraid of, because as we move to the end of the year, I think we're more likely to have alt season in the months of October, November, December, and possibly January, depending on how the generous the market will be. But as of right now, this is a time to load up. So that's just my little market update for you guys. I am moving towards AI more so than memes right now. DeFi is a safe sector that's going to perform incredibly well with Ethereum. So I don't think you can go wrong with DeFi. You just have to make sure you're in the right DeFi coins. And CRV, you really can't go wrong with that. It's been showing great performance, as well as Aave, CVX along with CRV, of course. Hype is going to do really well. So there's a ton of options out there, and I don't think you can go wrong with them. They're simply leveraged bets on Ethereum. So with that said, guys, that's my little market update for you guys. I think we get a bearish end of August, which is going to be an opportunity. And then after that, we can look towards a more bullish Bitcoin as well as altcoins. So with that said, guys, good luck out there, and I'll see you guys next time.